Hey guys, it's Wolf Wengler, and I'm laying on the floor here in front of my car looking up at the oil pan. And if you look at that front cross member, you can see where it's been notched um, to make room for the oil pan to get the engine to sit a little bit lower. You can kind of see the edges of the notch here. That steering linkage is in the way, but I've got some still pictures of when I did this job, so I'll show them to you. The problem was the drive shaft angle. The transmission tail shaft was pointing down too far, and that meant I had to tip the rear end up too far to get the angles to balance out. So I lowered the front of the engine and raised the transmission up a hair and got everything to work out. But notching the cross member here, the front cross member, was a little bit of a project, and I'll show you that with some still pictures now. So my plan was to drop the entire cross member with the control arms and brakes and everything still attached. There's only 6 bolts. There's 3 half-inch bolts on this side, and I don't know if you can see them from here. I haven't got it lit. You can't really get it, but you'll see in the still pictures. Jack the car up, put some blocks under the oil pan. The headers pretty much hold it up by themselves, but put some blocks under the oil pan, a couple more blocks under the motor mounts, and then just lowered the cross member right out the bottom of the car. Here's the cross member laying on the garage floor. You can see those 6 bolt holes. I marked it while it was still in the car, just roughly where I needed clearance, and from there I laid it out a little better from there, and then I cut it with the angle grinder. You can see the cuts here, just cutting a little bit at a time. And then I started to fit pieces of cardboard. I was going to put a rib down the middle of it. The plan was to notch the cross member back on each side and then put a rib in it. Here's that cardboard transferred to metal, and that rib goes from both sides and it goes back into each end of the old cross members. So it's got some pretty good strength. It's got now 3 vertical surfaces. I've had no problem with this. This was done years ago. I've had no problem. Here it's plated with the top pieces. There were a couple little pieces that went in each vertical side of it, and then we tacked it up, and then we welded it up together. It was a pretty straightforward process. From there, went back in the car. Here's the cross member in the car painted. This is sometime later, but you get an idea what the project was involved with.